lot of us in the Filipino community, we're starting to get out of that shell of being in the sidelines, and starting to put our foot forward and be heard. We have our stories, and I'm so happy that they are willing to listen.
John Aquino, you are so cool, and what you do is super cool. tell, tell us about that. Tell us how you got to be a modeler first.
I was actually a 2D artist. I was an effects artist, and I drew a lot of fire and water, anything that wasn't a character in our animated films at Disney. But then, the computer came along, and I had to relearn. I had to learn the computer basically as another tool. And for a while, my brain fought each other because I'm used to drawing, and now I'm drawing with a mouse. So I decided to go into modeling. I felt that it was more artistic in a way. It was, when you sculpt characters or you sculpt and build environments, that was more artistic to me.
For the purpose of those who are not familiar, what is it? What does it mean to be a modeling lead?
We are the digital artists that actually build the environments and the characters in our animated films. In this case, I do both, but on Raya and the Last Dragon, I was an environment modeler, and I was the environment modeling lead. And as the lead, I was the liaison between the departments that we interact with, from animation to layout to lighting, and fulfill any notes that might come up and arise up during production, and make sure that they are met according to the needs of the other departments.
And how awesome is it that you got to work on Raya and the Last Dragon as a modeling lead?
Yeah, it's an honor to work on this particular film as a lead, just because it hits a little closer to home. It's a movie about the Southeast Asia region, and the Philippines is in that region as well. So there are a lot of influences from the different cultures, and the Philippine culture is also featured as well in the film. I take it a little personally. I wanted to be involved. I wanted to, take any sort of leadership that that I can, just to give it a little bit of authenticity, just to make sure that the models and the environments that we created resonated with the cultures that we were representing.
Right, and you're familiar with the Philippines. You were born in Manila. You grew up visiting Cavite as well.
Yes.
How much did you draw from that?
I actually drew a lot from Manila. There's a land in the movie called Talon, and it's actually a floating marketplace. And when I got this as an assignment, I immediately thought and just had memories of Palenque when I was visiting Palenque with my grandmother and stuff. And the my memories of Palenque was, it was busy, it was bustling, everyone was selling everything and stuff. It was a very visceral memory for me, and it stayed with me even through my adulthood and stuff. So yeah, in Talon, it was that kind of a marketplace, and I drew from those memories to infuse a little bit of authenticity, in the set dressing and the building of Talon.
And how cool must it be for you? Because like you drew from that experience, it's an early childhood memory. And as an adult, you're using it. You drew from it to fulfill your work, which is now like released globally as a movie, and it's lauded as a history making piece because of Disney's first Southeast Asian princess.
Yes.
And you're seeing it. You're seeing your childhood memory with your own tweak to it come to life. Like how how is that experience like?
It's pretty surreal, and like you said, this is the first time Disney is showcasing the Southeast Asian region, and and you want to do it right. You want to represent it right, and to draw from my memories and experiences, of my childhood. It's it's rather personal for me, so this movie, when I saw it in its completion, it was just a part of me and part of my childhood that always brings me, to tears when I see it. So yeah, it's
Also,
very special.
yeah, also your role. You've done other effect as an effects animator. You've done work on other movies, other Disney movies, other animation, and you said it like, how special is this movie going to be?
Yeah. I've worked in 2D films, like, my first one was Hercules to Fantasia 2000, all the way up to, Emperor's New Groove and then Atlantis, going into
Well,
the 3D realm with Chicken Little and with Frozen and Tangled and with
Tangled, yeah.
Moana. All those films, they're special to me, because, I worked on them, and, it was an honor to work on them. But what's really great about Raya and the Last Dragon is it's a continuation of Disney's commitment for inclusivity, making sure that all cultures are represented.
Especially during this time, the message of the movie is also about trusting,
Yeah,
about community, about coming together. I watched it with my 5-year-old, and I love it because not only is she seeing a representation of herself on the screen, but
yeah,
also some of the values that we try to hopefully instill in the young at this time, so that they can make a better world for themselves, right? So
yeah. I
yeah,
think that you know part of the reason why I went into this industry is because uh, I'm part of a community that creates uh, you know these wonderful theatrical features, that's been a legacy for the past, 50 years, centuries, 50 years, sorry. And, you know, their main thing is to entertain children, is our primary, audience. And, you know, to to hear a child's laughter, and the response to Raya has been nothing short of, wonderful. Everyone has responded so positively to it. Children are just cheering and they're just smiling and laughing and crying. All those things, makes me, it touches me deep down inside, because it's the creative part of me that, that's being touched, and this is why I actually went into this industry, because I wanted to be part of something that elevates children and makes them laugh and smile and cry and care, and maybe teaches them something along the way.
that's beautiful. You know what's also beautiful, John, is this sort of emergence of Filipino American artists like yourself.
A lot of us are, we're used to being in the background and, working on the side. But, again, this speaks to Disney's, culture of inclusivity, because they want to hear from everyone. And a lot of us in, the Filipino community, we're starting to get out of that shell of being in the sidelines, and starting to put our foot forward and be heard. We're part of the story that is animation, Disney animation, and we're honored that they like to hear our voices, and we have our stories, and I'm so happy that they're willing to listen. They're giving Filipino Americans opportunities to tell those stories, and it's quite an honor to be at Disney at this time, and in the industry as well.
With that said, what's next for you? I see that you've also directed a short from Disney Animation's experimental program. Would that translate into directing into the future? Is that something in your future? What's on the horizon?
Yes. So after directing my short "Lightning in a Bottle" from the short program at Disney, I was really honored, and it really lit a fire under me. I think creative-wise, I always wanted to tell stories. I think we all have stories to tell, right? But after directing the short on short circuit, I think I started writing more. I have ideas for TV series. I've been writing screenplays. Been doing a lot of that. Aside from, work, I'm still working at Disney, of course, but on my spare time, I'm writing all these ideas and stories that I hope to one day pitch at, at Disney and or any other studio. But, for the most part, it would be nice to have them at Disney. But you never know.
Enjoy the success of Raya.
Oh, thank you,
Congratulations. How
Jannelle.
special that you are to be a part of this. And we will be cheering you on, and we hope to see you on your journey, and let us know how we can help, how we can support.
Well, thank you so much. And you guys are already doing it. Just go out and see the film, support the animation community. Because you have brothers and sisters who are working on these projects, and they're proud to represent the Philippines, and Philippines, you know, uh, you know, are behind us. They have our backs, and we appreciate that. So thank you.
Right. I'm gonna watch the movie again, and when it comes to talent, I'm gonna tell my daughter about the palenque. I
Yes.
I also love that growing up. I always thought that it was very, very, it's such an interesting place, a lot of character.
Yes, a lot of character, a lot of, I mean, it's really, it engages all of your senses.
True.
And you can't forget something. You can never forget something like that. So
Exactly. Thank you so much, John. More power to you.
you're so welcome, Jannelle. It's nice meeting you.